Buccaneers head coach Bruce Arians brought the whole team back, basically, but he also made good on this word when he promised that if they would win the Super Bowl back in August, he would get a tattoo. He tweeted this picture this morning of his new ink saying, "I'm a man of my word, I got mine, and I love it." No confirmation on what body part that actually is, but Mina, what do you think?
Oh boy, I think that it's very tasteful. I guess that I should admit right now, for those who don't know, I do have a Super Bowl tattoo, 48.
Whoop, whoop.
It was a pact that I made. Oh,
Yep.
wow, you guys have a photo. Where did you find?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mel, do you have a tattoo? You have any tattoos?
Absolutely not, Laura, and never will. Okay. No,
I was going to say we could
no
get
bets could ever allow
Not too
that.
late, Mel.
like your best mock draft. We could get it tattooed on your back. Anyway, I'm done
Never.
now. I promise. Tom Brady apparently got that same tattoo as Arians. Just kidding. But Brady did sign a contract extension with the Bucs after the Super Bowl win. Sources told Adam Schefter it's a 4-year extension that voids to a 1-year, tying Brady to Tampa the 2022 season. So while the Bucs had the solution at QB for now, Bruce Arians had an interesting take on this year's draft, the team's future at the quarterback position. Listen.
The right guy's there that we think is a developmental guy that has the upside that outweighs every other position of those 5 or 6 guys that we're looking at. Then yeah, we wouldn't be against it. And same thing in the second round and the third round. If we have 5 guys and one's a quarterback and we think his development's better than those positions, sure.
Ooh, Mina, what's your reaction to hearing the Bucs possibly using their first-round pick on a quarterback?
Bucs aren't using their first-round pick on a quarterback. Maybe later in the draft. But everything this team has done the entire offseason with the bringing the band back together, the way they've restructured their contracts to clear out cap space, the fact that several of those players have taken discounts or pushed money down the road suggests that this team is all in. And I don't think they're just all in for this season. Knowing Tom Brady, they're all in next season as well. I mean, this man shows no plans to retire. He's not playing like he's going to retire. And notably, he has not been super, how shall we say, amenable to developmental quarterbacks in the past. You can ask Jimmy Garoppolo about that. Now, I will say, if they see a guy that they think, potentially could be a backup, that could be important for them and potentially could have upside. But first round, no way.
Tom probably be wanting to slap the hell out of them young quarterbacks. Listen, here's the thing. All right?
What?
If you're in their situation and you've brought all these guys back like they promised, I agree with Mina. I don't think it's very likely. But a guy that comes to my mind is Kyle Trask, because even though Tom Brady has seemed to defy Father Time, there is going to need to be a process at figuring out who's going to be the quarterback in Tampa after he leaves. I think Kyle Trask would be a very intriguing guy to think about development. He also put up great numbers at the University of Florida. He's a big physical quarterback that can push the ball downfield, and we know that's something that BA loves to do with the weapons that they'll have on the outside. And another intriguing one for me is Najee Harris. And that's why it was so important when I watched him today at the Pro Day, because we know how important backs are to Tom Brady. We know how he likes to have those guys be influencers and impactful in games with checkdowns. The run game seems to assert itself with Tom Brady involved offenses as the playoffs go along. So Najee Harris is another intriguing one. I don't know if he'll make it to him, but that would be a guy I would think they would be interested in as well, with Leonard Fournette on a 1-year deal.
And Marcus, that would be the second straight year we had a running back go at 32, with Clyde Edwards-Helaire going to the Chiefs last year at pick 32. In Tampa Bay, you think about Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Clemson, but also Christian Barmore, defensive lineman out of Alabama. They did bring back in. You mentioned Kyle Trask. Florida, Tom Brady, Michigan, size, the arm pocket guy, limited mobility, nice touch on the deep ball for Kyle Trask. But I think when you look at Barmore, what he could do on the defensive line, to give it a little depth, that young player can learn from Ndamukong Suh. Then you have Kyle Trask. And I'll tell you another name kind of creeping into the conversation as a 2. I wouldn't say a late one, but a second-round quarterback is Davis Mills out of Stanford. Only 11 career starts, but David Shaw raved about him when he came there. This kid's got some talent. Davis Mills, don't sleep on that name when we get into round round 2. This kid could come off the board at that point.
Don't forget it, Davis Mills. Also 1 point on Najee Harris. He can catch the ball so well out of the backfield. You can use him in the pass game. That's something that we've certainly seen Tom Brady love. So
it's the same kid that had to follow Tua and did.
The tape speaks for itself at Alabama.
Mac Jones, that deal, man.
This is what it looks like to be elite.
Fields watches downfield. He's got it!
The ups and the talent, I'm drafting that.
An extremely important day today in the NFL with both Ohio State and Alabama pro days happening. Justin Fields dazzled in the 40-yard dash, threw some dimes as well. Mac Jones threw once again at his second pro day just about a week after the first one. The 49ers, as you might have guessed, were on hand. We welcome you to NFL Live. So glad you're with us today. Coming up, Adam Schefter in moments with the names of teams who also like Mac Jones. It's why the 49ers felt they had to get all the way up to 3 overall. Mel Kiper Jr. also joins us a little later with his latest big board and the reasons Justin Fields is the number 2 quarterback in the draft in his mind. So we begin the show, though, with Louis Riddick and Greg McElroy. Louis at Ohio State's pro day, Greg McElroy at Alabama's pro day. And Greg, we start with you. Your impressions of what happened today there in Tuscaloosa.
Well, Mac Jones took the field looking to throw 58 scripted passes showcasing arm strength and athleticism. And he did so with a couple of his friends, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smith and Najee Harris taking part in the on-field drill. So it was a star-studded day here in Tuscaloosa. And now to Columbus and Louis Riddick.
Yeah, Matt, I'll tell you what. Look, Justin Fields put on a show here today. It started off right off the bat with his 4.44 in the 40-yard dash. That's something that people weren't really surprised of as far as how fast he would run. And I don't think people were really surprised as far as how good he threw the football as well. All 3 levels of the football field, short, intermediate, deep. He uncorked some absolute just moonshots on the deep passes down the sideline. He showed tremendous touch on the short routes when he was throwing to Trey Sermon. Look, he really kind of just nailed this whole thing from beginning to end, and I think NFL teams left this workout going. I think we may have a new quarterback number 2, possibly, Laura. Who knows? We'll see.
Ooh, I love it. All right, more from Louis and more from Greg later on in the show. Stay tuned for a little more detail about exactly what these quarterbacks did. Alabama and Ohio State are among the top programs in the nation when it comes to developing NFL talent. This year, no different. In fact, Alabama has 10 players in Scout Inc.'s top 150 prospects for the 2021 NFL Draft, and Ohio State isn't far behind, ranking second with 7 players. You can bet you're going to hear plenty of names from both Alabama and Ohio State early and often next month in Cleveland. Also here today, we've got Adam Schefter, we've got Mina Kimes, we have Marcus Spears. Adam, let's start with you. What are you hearing after what you just heard Louis say about how high Justin Fields can go in the draft?
Laura, it's always all about the quarterbacks. And of course, when these pro days happen, they take on an added significance because of the fact that there's no combine this year. So teams really can't see these quarterbacks up close and in person in Indianapolis in February. Now they have to go to their pro days in March. And I think Justin Fields impressed today, impressed the NFL world. A lot of personnel on hand to watch him. A lot of people on hand to watch Mac Jones as well. We've said all along that there would be a rush for quarterbacks at the top of the draft. I still don't see that changing. I still see Trevor Lawrence going 1. We see Zach Wilson going 2 to the Jets. We see potentially Mac Jones going 3, and Justin Fields and Trey Lance are going to be square in that conversation to try to change the 49ers' minds over the next month and to tempt the Falcons enough at 4 and to tempt the other teams that haven't landed a quarterback this offseason, like the Carolina Panthers, like the Denver Broncos, like some other teams that have quarterback questions, to potentially move up in the draft. And again, there's that rush on the quarterbacks who will be in demand next month.
Yeah, it's fascinating to think about how much this could actually change even more. We already saw a big blockbuster deal happen on Friday, but this thing's only beginning. And Marcus, you just heard Adam lay it out, how maybe those top 3, those top 4 look. There's seemingly this narrative ever since the 49ers traded all the way up to 3, as Adam reported, to that Justin Fields' stock is falling in some way. What do you think is going on there? He definitely performed well today. So what's happening with Justin Fields?
Straight foolishness. He's a victim of Ohio State, black quarterbacks not doing well, period. Like, it's no other way to say it. Because outside of that, I don't know why Justin Fields would fall when we think about this process and everything that's transpired so far and coming off today in this pro day. And look, here's the bottom line. We We don't know if Justin Fields has fallen. We don't know what these teams plan to do. But the bottom line is he's done nothing to hurt his stock from the end of the season to right now. So all of these guys that we're talking about in this tier, basically after Trevor Lawrence, should be all held in the same regard, and now you determine what the differentiating factors are. But for Justin Fields' stock to be falling, all I can think of is Dwayne Haskins, Ohio State last year, Ohio State quarterbacks not having a lot of success in the league when they leave after putting up great numbers. But outside of that, I need to know another reason why it would fall, because he did play in the Ryan Day offense.